Hi guys, this is Scribbly again with another pen review, and today I have something quite interesting for you. What I have for you is two Leonardo pens. Leonardo Officina Italiana. A little bit of history to that company just because it's interesting. If you want to look it up in depth, go to the interwebs. I'm not super into the history of those pens expertise wise, but what I got is that historically it is like Salvatore, who has, by the way, sent me these pens for review. Thank you very much, Salvatore. I appreciate that a great deal. Is the son of the founder of the Delta pen company, which is like a very well-known Italian pen maker. And Salvatore does also make the ASC Armando Simoni Club fountain pens that are also quite well known, sort of like, you know, redoing or doing pens with like using up old Omas material and stuff like that. And now Salvatore does make his own fountain pens under the name of Leonardo Officina Italiana. I hope I got that bit of history correct. If not, please feel free to correct me down there in the comments. But anyway, Salvatore, I'm really appreciative, as said, that you sent me these pens for review, because they do make quite a fuss right now in the fountain community, at least for the past couple of months, ever since they've been released. Because look at them, they are really beautiful pens at a quite attractive price. Let's have a look at the packaging. First, a massive black cardboard box, and I'm honest, I'm not a fan of such huge packaging, because I think it's just not really good for the environment. And then, you know, it's just a bland black cardboard box, nothing special. I think that could have been a whole lot smaller. Says Leonardo Officina Italiana, and then the pen rested in here. Came with a nice large 50 milliliter or 40 milliliter bottle of turquoise ink. I'm a great fan of turquoise ink. That is a super nice color, I think. Makes for a nice present package. Having a bottle included in the price of the pen is of course fantastic, and the pen is already priced very attractively. I think this model here, called the Momento Zero, because it was the first pen that Leonardo has made, and the color here is called Positano. I think it's around 150 euro, and this model here is called, that cigar shaped model is called Furore. That finish here is called Sun Yellow. I think it's also 160 or 170 euro, something like that. Just a tad more expensive. I don't really get why that model is more expensive, but it seems to be a little bit more expensive with most pen retailers. So for 150, 160-ish bucks, such an attractive pen plus a full bottle of ink, I think is quite a neat offer. Let's put the packaging aside and have a look at those pens here, first one by one, then side by side. An extremely beautiful pen, and I can understand why these pens make such a fuss on the internet, on social media, in the pen communities, because this finish is just really beautiful. As far as I understand, these pens are hand turned, and you see that when we look at them in depth. There is no manufacturing signs whatsoever, so these definitely look like hand turned pens. They're available in a number of different not materials as well, because you can also get them in ebonite and stuff. Then they're a little bit more expensive, or celluloid. This here is resin pens, as a matter of fact, but that finish has a massive depth, is extremely beautiful. I mean, I honestly, these swirly marbly pens is just totally not my thing personally, because I'm really, you know, just a black pen, bland, boring guy. But I can definitely appreciate the beauty of those pens, and I can see why they are so popular in the pen community. As said, available in a wide range of different colors, all with that kind of depth. Really beautiful. So the Memento Zero is sort of like a slightly flat topped pen, of course, like a little bit like domed, sort of like, it's not even a finial, just end of the cap. Then you have like a nice clip here, and this like ball or like this little wheel here that is quite typical for Italian pens, which makes it, Delta pens and stuff also has that, makes it quite easy to slide it into a shirt pocket or a pen pouch. It's quite tight actually, so it like takes a little bit of effort to get it into a pen pouch. Then you have like a nice sort of like a center band here, another center band here, and then just the barrel tapering down. Very interesting. This looks like a blind cap, and in fact it is a blind cap. You can unscrew this, and then out comes like the silvery end part of a very fancy converter. So you can either, once the pen, if the pen dries up, which has never happened to me, but you could then use that to quickly and easily prime the feed, or of course to fill the pen from an ink bottle, almost having it a little bit like a piston filler. I think it's easier to fill the pen like this actually, because you see what you're doing, but you know, why not? It doesn't hurt to have that, and it definitely makes the pen just a tad more fancy. I actually find it's a quite cool feature, and that sits really nice and tight right here. So then here you see a small engraving, and that is like the only branding that they have. Leonardo Officina Italiana number 1186 right here. So the pens are numbered, not a limited edition or something like that. They're just numbered. That's that with that pen. Really nice, really beautiful. Cap unturns with about one turn, a little bit less than a turn. It does unscrew. As said, I pointed out in almost every review, I really like that because it just makes it for a quick and easy note taker. You can post the pen, does post very securely, still very balanced, as the pen is extremely comfortable and balanced unposted. Doesn't get too long for me, doesn't get unwieldy, just a really nice length. Very great, very balanced, very nice. There is a inner cap, milky white inner cap, to prevent the nib from drying out. My version of the pen here has like a little like light blue blobs here, which I found a bit disturbing in the beginning, because I was like, it would be a little bit neater if it would be the same all around. But now I appreciate that, sort of like, you know, the uniqueness of the material, wabi-sabi in an Italian pen, mixing up the, you know, European and Asian cultures a little bit. Why not? We have a section here. The section honestly looks extremely uncomfortable. Large step down here, another massive step down here, but when you hold it, it is just so pleasant. When I saw the pen, when I unboxed it, I was like, uh-oh, if this is going to be comfortable to write, yes it is, and it is very comfortable to write. I find the aesthetics very beautiful. This large number 6 nib fits the overall body aesthetics very nicely. This one here is a fine, says Leonardo, Italy, Leonardo logo on here. One of the best steel nibs I ever wrote with. Really fantastic writing experience. A true fine nib. A little bit bouncy, springy. You could definitely, it's not a flex nib or something like that, but you definitely get a little bit of line variation out here. And then standard international converter in here. And I do think that this is even a screw-in converter, if I remember this right. Yes. See that? Here are the threads. So screw-in converter, that's what it is. And I do believe when you look at the pen right here, you actually do see that it's a, you know, the way it looks, it is a hand-turned pen, or at least a turned pen. I don't know if it's hand-turned, but it's a turned pen, not an injection molded pen. And hey, I like how I can put, let me nerd out a little bit, geek out. I like how I can put that back on here. Fantastic. You see how that just flies back on there. Great manufacturing quality, good tolerances. Let's have a look, and now a fairly quick look at the Furore in yellow, because it's basically the same pen, you know, domed up here, but of course a little bit, you know, not like this, but more cigar shaped. Then same clip, same 3 cap bands, same band down here, same blind cap right at the back here. I just want to show you the beautiful material. This has a lot of depth to it. This is really, 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 really nice. I'm not a fan of yellow pens. It's just like too, you know, too fancy for me personally. but I can definitely appreciate that this is a really beautiful pen. Just because the light is that good, if I angle it right here. Super nice. Also, one turn. Here you do see the inner cap. Slightly translucent material, as you can see right here. And also you see the nib, the housing sitting in here. This is that turquoise ink that does come with the pen. Leonardo Officina Italiana on the converter here. Super cool, really nice converters. That feels really substantial, really quality. Guys, it's exactly the same sections that we're looking at here. This, by the way, is slightly different nib design. I don't know if one is older, one is newer or something like that. Just note it, it's a bit different. Leonardo Officina Italiana. Logo, medium nib. I find them both. This is a little bit more minimalist. This is a little bit more classy. Find them both really beautiful. This is a medium that runs on the wider side of medium. I'm going to show you the writing sample in a minute. The fine, a true fine. Feeds fairly similar. So you can swap out, you know, nibs because they're the same. If you want to look at the pens in comparison, maybe you're thinking about getting both of them. So you see what that looks like in terms of length. Fairly similar. Just a tad longer. The Furore, not sure if it like makes a substantial difference. Let's look at them capped. Then we do a size comparison. Then we do a writing sample. Then we wrap it up. That's what it looks like. You know, not a substantial difference. I prefer this design here, but you know, matter of taste. Let's bring in my standard size reference pen, Lamy Safari. Pretty much the size of a Lamy Safari, I would say. Uncap them. And the picture doesn't change a great deal. Pretty much, oops, the size of a Lamy Safari. You know, very marginal difference, but of course, there's a noticeable difference. Right here, in the section diameter. So we wrap it up with a writing sample of these fabulous pens. I do really like them. The quality of the pens convinces me. Zoom in a little bit, and I do think it's a quite attractive price point, around 140 euro for such a, or 50 for 150 for such a beautiful hand-turned pen. Great material, so definitely a little bit of a USP there. Fabulous writing nib. Leonardo. Momento Zero. Positano. Fine nib. And so here, this is no pressure. This is quite a bit pressure. This is a little bit more pressure. So you see, and I don't really have to press very hard. So it's like definitely quite easy to squeeze some line variation out of this pen. And it's a nice wet writer. Lays down quite a bit of ink. Very nice. I like that a lot. And now here comes the medium nib that runs a little bit on the wider side of medium. It was a bit off camera. Leonardo Furore Sun Yellow. And this here is the medium nib. No pressure, a bit of pressure, and a little bit more pressure. Line variation maybe a little bit more pronounced with the fine nib, but these are really, really beautiful pens. You see, this is quite a true fine. This is like a bit a fat medium, I would say, but very pleasant, very smooth writing experience. I need to zoom the camera out right here with a little bit of feedback. I really like it. Guys, that was that with the review of those two pens. Salvatore, thanks much again for sending me those two pens that at the moment make quite a big of a fuss on the social media in the pen community. Thanks for sending those to me for review. I was glad that I had a chance to have a look at them and bring this review to you. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you at the next review. Bye bye.